can we please call the meeting to order?
Yes, Madam Chair. Would you like me to take roll call?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Cooper,
Here.
Commissioner Gill, absent Commissioner Graham, absent Commissioner Johnson, absent Commissioner Luciano,
Here.
Commissioner Mercado, absent Commissioner Sebo,
Here.
Commissioner Vice President Pomares, absent Commissioner President Richardson.
Here.
Okay.
Here.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I have before me a certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. The purpose of this meeting is to hear from the list of banks that the County of Essex do business with that hold various certificates of deposit on behalf of the county, where the banks come before us to make a presentation as to their performance and rating around the CRA, the Community Reinvestment Act. So to get started, we have a list of banks. The banks will come before us and make a 10 to 15 minute presentation, followed by questions from the staff and from my fellow commissioners. So we're going to get started with the first bank is Provident. So please introduce yourselves. Tell us who you are.
I'm gonna introduce my name is Michael Kahn. I'm the market manager for the Bloomfield area, and I think this is my fourth or fifth time doing this presentation, and I just want to say thank you for having us. And I really wish we could be in person, and I miss those days and being in the courthouse building complex down there. I have with me in support of this. I have Joanna Guzman, who signed in. She's our asset recovery manager for Provident Bank. I have Joe Rodriguez present, who is our mortgage sales field manager. Sonia Levin Davis, who is our residential and consumer lending ops director. I think we had our first, or your first technical snafu of the evening. She couldn't get in, but I'm sure Joe can pitch hit. And Greg Dietrich, who is going to present this evening, is our Director of Government Banking. And I'm going to turn this over to his very capable hands.
Great. Well, thank you, Michael. Folks, if you're ready, I'll kind of walk you through our presentation, and I'm certainly open to any questions that you should have as we're running through, and appreciate the opportunity to be here with you folks tonight.
All right, perfect.
So I'll get the show on the road here. First of all, I'll talk a little bit about our CRA performance. We're very proud about how the bank has done. Of the three categories that are evaluated, 2 of the 3 were rated as high satisfactory, with an overall satisfactory rating. So we're doing well. In regards to our lending activities in Essex County, I'll just share some numbers with you. With home mortgage lending, we've done 61 loans totaling almost $24 million. And we also had small business lending, 22 loans, also close to $24 million. We've done some community development lending, which represents 1 loan at $2.5 million. Some additional background in regards to small business lending. We've processed 163 loans totaling over $47 million. As far as the loans that are in the low to moderate income tracks, it's been 57 loans, which represents 35% of the loans that we did in Essex County. Percentage of loans to small businesses with revenues less than $1 million. So the smaller businesses, we did 53 loans, representing 33% of our loan activity. loans less than 100,000 was 57 loans at 35%. So we're definitely helping the small business. In regards to community development, the banks processed 3 loans for over $40 million that are in the community services category. One of those loans was affordable housing, which was a $35 million project. And for community services, there's another $6 million that were contributed there. Banks also been active in issuing grants, which the date or for the period was $152,000, and we provided a schedule that provided a detail of all the loans within that. And we also had a affordable housing grant to the folks at the Sierra House for $15,000. When we're looking at some of your additional questions about do we have a proprietary home mortgage product for low and moderate income borrowers? Yes, we do. We've worked with a lot of folks, and details of the program are attached. I won't torture you with the details other than that we're certainly out there helping folks. Home ownership's important to all of us. We've made an effort to not only serve the first-time home buyers. We have a first-time home buyers loan program, but we also work to assist the small businesses that are minority owned, that are in low and moderate income neighborhoods. To facilitate that lending process, we partnered with a company by the name of Foundation, which provided us with a online method to accept applications and assist us in the processing of the loans. We're planning in this coming year in 2022, early first quarter, to actually release a brand new small business lending program that it'll be an online application. Very user-friendly. We'll have quick processing. We're looking to have a 24 to 48-hour turnaround for the small business loans, and very cost-effective for the borrower. So, the small business lending is important to our bank. We're a small business. We started as a small business 182 years ago. It was a group of business people that put money in a cigar box. That's how we started in Jersey City. So that we hold true to our background and really look to help folks. In regards to our foreclosure activity, there was only one foreclosure that we filed in Essex County in 2020, and that was subsequently paid off, so that it never went into the foreclosure mode. So we're very pleased that we've been able to work with people to have positive resolutions and to avoid these difficult times. In the event that we did have to foreclose on a property, the bank is responsible and looks to remediate and if necessary and get that property back out there in a productive manner. It makes good sense for the community as well as good, business sense for our bank as well. So we do the right thing and keep things looking the way they should. As far as programs that we have to help keep people in their homes, I think our results speak for themselves. We don't have any foreclosures. We've worked through lots and lots of problems with people, and the key ingredient is that is just to have the folks that are in the situation to be engaged with us and wanting to have a successful conclusion. And it's never a win to foreclose on a client, so that we try to avoid it, and we've got programs in place to help people through those challenging times. Additionally, we came out with a specific program that was oriented around the pandemic, because that created a host of new circumstances. And again, we were very successful in navigating through those challenges and without having to take adverse action. As far as our presence in Essex County, the bank has 10 branches in Essex County that are all ADA compliant. We do have a minority staffing policy, and we've included in our presentation required documentation to support that. And with that, I just like to say that I very much appreciate the bank appreciates the opportunity to be of service to your constituents. We're always looking to remain committed to our clients and to the state of New Jersey. We've been in business 182 years, and it doesn't happen by accident. Right? That's a real commitment to our community, and we take pride in our organization. And I appreciate your time this afternoon, and welcome any questions you may have.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dietrich. That was a wonderful presentation. Commissioners,
Thank you so much.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Questions? No questions from me.
Mr. Parlavecchio, any questions?
No, Commissioner, nothing from me.
Mr. McInerney?
Yes, could you give me the ratings again in the three categories, lending, investment, and service again?
Yeah, we had a high satisfactory. In fact, let me see if I can just pull it up in front of me.
I have it in front of me, Greg. Could it help?
Please, yeah.
In the lending test was a high satisfactory.
I'm sorry, can you put your name on the record, please?
Michael Kahn.
Thank you.
To Mr. McInerney's question, the lending test was a high satisfactory, the service test was a high satisfactory, and the investment test was a low satisfactory for an overall satisfactory.
The investment being would include those are the investments that you have outstanding, correct? Those are the investments that appear on your balance sheet where you invest the deposits. So is there a reason why it was a low sat? Can you give us the reason why it was low satisfactory?
From what I understand, it was that they would like to see us take a larger leadership role in developing some of these large loans. At times we'll partner with another bank or what have you to participate, and they'd like us to take a lead position. The bank is actually in a growing stage in that our regulators are now looking at us a little bit different than they used to. We were a small community bank, and we've been growing, and we're over 10 billion in assets now, which in the Bank of America world we're little ants, but they're treating us like a big bank now. So that if they looked at us in the old way, we'd be rock stars. So now we're being held to a higher level. So, but we hear them loud and clear, and it's something that we're always working toward.
No, I understand. Provident is not considered a large bank. That's so I do understand it, but it's nice to see that 33% of your it says here percentage of loans to small business with revenues less than 1 million or 53, which 33% of those loans are here in Essex County to small businesses. So I think that's a very positive statistic with regard to businesses in Essex County. $1 out of $3 under $1 million of loans, which is really where some of the really small business.
Right.
And so I think that's a really positive, as I said, feature of your outline here. I mean, in terms of long-term goals and with regard to the community, could you just outline some of that? Are there any grant programs allowed or?
Well, you know what, we're always, keeping our ear to the ground of opportunities. We're certainly, active and looking to expand our presence in Essex County.
Was there any specifics that you can point to with regard to grants?
Unfortunately, I'm not prepared to. I guess I could circle back to like our lenders that aren't with us. We always have a pipeline of loans that are in the works that because there's a privacy element that we have to be careful about. We're not letting information out about a client.
Yeah, I understand, but that's not the question. The question was, do you have any grants that the bank gives?
I could jump in there on the residential side, on the mortgage side. Actually, we have a meeting this week to talk about our goals for CRA in 2022, and part of that is looking into to see if we have if we are able to support some down payment assistance, lower rates, and that type of those type of items that would help the community.
That's exactly
first time
what,
buyers.
Yeah. That's
So
exactly.
we are having a meeting on that. We haven't had, we had some down payment assistance this year that we couldn't use through the New York Bank. But like I said,
Why
we're having.
couldn't you use it, Mr. Rodriguez? Why wasn't you able to use it?
I think it was really just too restricted. Is as part of income and house values. With the house values going up so much this year, it really made that more difficult. So I think that's one of the items we want to address, where maybe we can expand the home values and open up our guidelines a little more to make it more to be able to help more families.
Okay, and again, I understand this from just being in the business environment myself, that Provident Bank is a smaller bank, and when we're looking at some of the other banks here, we certainly have to keep that in mind, that the resources aren't exactly the same of a Bank of America or a TD Bank. So I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I did want to try to get some answers to that question. Everybody else.
Certainly.
Mr.
McInerney, you did a fine job. Those were some questions that I had, thinking about if they offered down payment or closing cost assistance. And another question that I have is, what is the total amount of money that Provident set aside on an annual basis for grant making purposes? So, Mr. Dietrich, can you get back to me on that? And then my second question,
you stumped me there.
and my second question would be, how do the community-based organizations find out about the grants that you have available? I want to commend Provident, because I think your presentation and the actual work that you've done is tremendous. I'm really happy to see that you guys had 0 foreclosures. One of my questions to you was going to be, what was the status of the foreclosure, the homes that you had started last year? So I was happy, Mr. Dietrich, to hear that you guys were able to work with that entity that the foreclosure did not go through, and to hear that you had no foreclosures whatsoever. I was very excited to hear that. but grant making. I think that's the only area that I think I would really love to see you guys have some more improvement in. You did a tremendous job around making investments to small businesses and the community development side, but your grant making side doesn't seem to match the other areas of your CRA activities. And as Mr. Rodriguez just talked about, I would love to hear back from Mr. Rodriguez about some of those actual barriers that were too restricted, that impeded you all from being effective with a pot of money that you had that could have helped people become homeowners. That's important to know, so that we can kind of trickle that down to other entities when we come across that. The tools that you create need to complement the current marketplace that we're in. Any other questions? Well, Providence.
We'll get back to you on that.
Yep.
Thank
Great-
you so
great
very much.
stuff.
Mr.
Certainly,
Dietrich, I do have another request. Can you please provide to our staff a full listing of everybody's name and email address and contact information? You can send it back to
Absolutely.
Ms. Marble. Thank you so much.
Be our pleasure.
All right, up next is TD Bank.
All right, folks. Well, then I
a good
appreciate your
holiday,
time,
everyone.
and,
Yes,
go get
thank
out
you.
of your hair.
Have a good holiday.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays. Thanks so much.
Well, good evening, TD Bank. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please give us an overview of your team that you have with you today, followed by an overview of your CRA report.
Absolutely. So I'm Cheryl Griffith. I'm the head of government banking for PA, New Jersey, and New York. And with me, I have the A team today. We have, you know Lizette, our local store manager from the Mulberry office, and we also have Miguel Belcher, who is our store manager from the Market Street office. We've got Tanya Lamel. She's a government banker from New York City, but she's also passionate and very involved in our D&I, our Black Employee Network, and also our Ready commitment. So she's our expert on that. We have Dennis Legou, and Dennis is the Senior Vice President, Head of CRA Development. Patrick Nicholson, he is our mortgage rep that handles CRA and for the area and is a big important person of our team. And Doug Turnbull, who's the RVP for Essex County and part of Union, and Martin Mullally, who's the Senior Vice President, Market President of this same area too. So let me make sure we didn't forget anybody. I think I have our whole team. We definitely have the A team for you. We actually do have a presentation deck. I had sent it to Deborah yesterday or this morning. Was she able to put that on?
No, I don't think she was able to get that through. Lionel, were you able to?
She said that she sent it to your IT people. Your IT
Yeah,
team.
Lionel?
Yes, we do have it, and we'll be popping it up right this second.
Oh, all right, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Just give
so
us a
much,
second.
Lionel.
No problem. Presentation is ready, and you should be able to see it. Nick, can you make sure that it's up, visible?
No, we
Correct.
don't see it yet. I do not see it yet. Does anybody else?
Cheryl, if
I
you
don't
have it on
see-
yours, you could probably bring it up and share your screen with us.
Do you think I can do that?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you
share
can do
your
that as
screen.
well.
All right.
Share your screen.
Let me try that. Bear with me just a second. I have to find it.
Cheryl, I could do it.
You know what, Tanya? You're the expert. If you can do that, that would be fantastic. Tanya has many, many talents.
We actually have it showing, the viewers will actually see it, but Tanya has it as well, so go ahead. Thank you.
Do you have it on?
It is up.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, good. Excellent. So,
Tanya, I no longer see the deck. I don't know what you did.
really, I just advanced the slide.
Yeah,
Is that
nope.
at the wrong
I cannot
screen?
see her deck. It's on the
Martin.
wrong screen.
So you just saw my whole spiel. Sorry about that.
You did.
That's okay, that's okay. We got
It's
you.
well written.
No surprises today, darn.
So this is what we have. We can show it on our screen. You just won't be able to see it. The viewers will be able to see it. And when you're want us to advance to the next page, you would just tell us to say, you would just say next slide.
Okay, we can give that a shot. I believe our entire team does have the deck themselves, if you want to bring that up on your computers. Martin, are you okay? Do you have the deck?
Yeah, I do. Yep, I'm good.
Okay. All right. As I had stated, we do like to do a PowerPoint presentation, as you know, because we did do the wonderful submission to you. And then this is our overview. And not only is it our overview, but it's also a lot of great things that TD does that isn't a question in the deck, but we definitely want for you to learn about. So hence, this is why we do the deck. And we did bring in our 8 A-team here, and hopefully you'll enjoy our presentation. And now I'm going to turn it over to Martin to give you a little bit of overview, a quick reminder of who TD is.
All right. So if you, since it's not on my screen, go to slide 2, please. So, I believe most of you know TD Bank, but I thought it would be good to share just a few statistics with you to help put today's presentation in perspective. TD Bank USA is one of the largest full-service financial companies and one of the top banks in the U.S. We have nearly 26,000 employees in the U.S., 1,140 stores, as we call them, you know them as branches, and 9.6 million customers. Total assets of TD Bank USA is about $444 billion. It's made up of $378 billion in deposits and $167 billion in loans. We are part of the TD Bank Group, which is the Canadian company, obviously TDE, for those of you that may not know. TD stands for Toronto Dominion, which is about 1.7 trillion Canadian assets, or translates to 1.35 trillion US dollars. And the entire Canadian bank and US bank combined have 90,000 employees and over 26 million customers. If you can move forward to slide 3, please. But size doesn't always tell the story. We are very proud of the fact that we have the highest credit rating of all US banks. We've continued to grow in a very stable manner, and methodical manner, right through the pandemic through today. As a matter of fact, there's been a large influx in deposits, consumer, commercial, and government deposits over the past 2 years, which is testimony that safety is paramount and most important when it comes to choosing a financial institution. So we're very, very proud of the credit rating. I think I go back over to you, Cheryl, for the next slide.
Thank you. And if you can advance to slide 4. So we like to call this our bragging rights, and this is things we're so proud of, and often things that people don't know about TD Bank, right? And one of the things that I want to point out, like Martin said, we're one of the 50th safest banks in the world. But this year we were recognized again for the 3rd year in the row from Forbes as the best employer for diversity. Also, Diversity Inc., a top company for diversity, they ranked us for the 9th consecutive year, but they also have a specialties list where we rank top in peoples with disability, in veterans, in employee resource group, in philanthropy, and top environmental and social governance, which is very important in the ESG. So this is just a little slide that shows you things that we do above and beyond just the regular banking, and things that we've worked very hard for and that we're very proud of. Now I'm going to turn it over to Tanya Lamel and also Dennis LeGroux on our diversity and inclusion.
Hi, everyone. So if you can advance to slide 5 on diversity and inclusion. So as a purpose-driven bank, TD is all about empowerment, opportunity, and inclusivity. We have a long history of supporting and celebrating inclusion and diversity through our colleagues, customers, and communities. With our Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Council and more than 50 resource groups, we're committed to creating a more equitable and inclusive space for everyone. At TD, we celebrate LGBTQ2+, we promote diverse abilities, we honor veterans, we empower women, we recognize cultural diversity, and we embrace Black experiences. We understand the important role diverse businesses play in our local and national economies, and we're committed to helping them grow and overcome financial challenges through effective solutions, resources, and our convenient banking model. That being said, we like to highlight to you a special announcement we made back in June of this year. Here to tell you more is our Senior Vice President of Community Development, Dennis LeGroux. Dennis, are you on mute?
His headphone isn't connected, maybe.
How's that? Is that better? Okay.
Yeah.
Much.
All right. No, I've been having issues with that. Thank you, Tanya. And thank you for letting us chat a little bit about this. I think it goes without saying that this year we've had a lot of challenges nationwide, and I think that particularly, we had an opportunity to sit down and say, what is our answer to this? And in June, we announced a $100 million equity fund to support minority-owned small businesses, demonstrating our continued commitment to combat racial inequities and provide opportunity in the underserved communities. The equity fund will enable SBICs and CDFIs to provide small business loans and technical assistance, ensuring these businesses have the resources they need to scale up and adapt in the long term. In last month, we approved our first equity investment in New Jersey, and this was given to New Jersey Community Capital, who formed a strategic partnership with the African American Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey to create the Equitable Small Business Initiative, which is a statewide revolving loan program that provides high-touch technical assistance and critical capital to address the emergent, long-term, and disaster recovery business financing needs of Blacks and Latinx small businesses and entrepreneurs. We are very proud of this going into the New Jersey, and quite honestly, this served as a model for future investments coming forward. So that's just a little bit on what we've done on the equity side. Back to you, Tanya.
Thanks, Dennis. So when TD formed its supplier diversity program back in 2011, we knew that including diverse suppliers was a natural extension of our work and a way to source more responsibility. We expanded TD's supplier pool to identify competitive and innovative suppliers. We leveraged the expertise of suppliers that represent the diverse communities where TD does business, and we promoted inclusive business growth to enhance social and economic inclusion in the community. But we didn't stop there. We encourage diverse-owned businesses to explore the benefits of diverse certifications, including advantages on contracting opportunities by partnering and supporting organizations such as the Women's Business Enterprise National Council, We Connect International, National Minority Supplier Development Council, Disability In, National Veteran-Owned Business Association, and the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And by the way, we like to applaud Essex County for being the first and only county in New Jersey to recognize the LGBT certification. Next slide, please, on the READY commitment. So being ready is not always easy, especially as our world changes faster than ever before. That's why we created the TD Ready commitment, to help those within TD and in our communities prepare for tomorrow. To accomplish this, we focused on 4 areas. Financial security is our commitment to help increase access to the opportunities people need to improve their financial security. Early learning, income stability, financial education, and affordable housing are the ways that we focus on that. Vibrant planet. We believe that a healthy environment is foundational to feeling confident about our future. That's why we are committed to elevating the quality of the environment so that people and economies can thrive. Our goals for Vibrant Planet include supporting clean economic growth that supports the transition to a low carbon economy to drive innovations in carbon reduction, growth of renewable and low carbon energies, and the development of clean technologies. And through green space programs, we grow and steward quality spaces in urban, suburban, and peri-urban areas, which give us the additional benefits such as enhanced flood control and greenhouse gas emissions reductions. Next, we have connected communities. And our commitment there is to help increase access to the opportunities people need to participate and feel a sense of belonging in their community. We'll achieve this through increasing access to events and activities that more people can participate in, and amplify all voices in arts and cultures by supporting diverse initiatives and professional development opportunities for artists, and by supporting initiatives that help groups vulnerable to social isolation build connections to their community. And last, but certainly not least, especially in these days, we have the Better Health pillar. We know that the long-term success of our business depends on the resilience and well-being of the people we serve. If people are not confident about their health, they can't be confident about their future. And that's why we've committed to helping increase investment in research, technology, and innovative solutions that improve access to care for all. Now, let me tell you about the TD Ready Challenge. That's our annual North American initiative, which has 10 million Canadian dollars in grants available to organizations developing innovative, impactful, and measurable solutions for a changing world. Every year, we focus on one or more drivers of the TD Ready commitment. We ask applicants to present their unique approach to addressing a problem and serving their community. The 2021 TD Ready Challenge problem statement focused on addressing predicted learning loss in math and reading for disproportionately impacted students in grades K through 12 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, as you see, across the bank, we are aligning our business, philanthropy, and human capital toward addressing social inequalities, and we are taking steps to open doors to a more inclusive and sustainable future for colleagues, customers, and communities. Thanks. Cheryl?
You can go to slide 7. Last year, we touched on this because the PPP was only in phase 1 when we met. Well, I'm going to turn this over to Martin and Doug so they can talk to you about our SBA and how we did with the PPPs.
All right. Thanks, Cheryl. So regarding SBA, for over the past year, and this is actually the 5th year in a row, for New Jersey, for TD Bank in New Jersey, we actually ended up being ranked #1 SBA lender in both units and in dollars for New Jersey. So we're the largest SBA lender. We were also the #1 SBA lender in units in our footprint, which is Maine to Florida. And we were #2 by dollars in that same footprint. But the thing that I'm extremely proud about with the U.S. team is how we, and Cheryl just mentioned it, is how we all rallied around the PPP loan process. Almost overnight, we created a new system and became loan processors, if you will, to help our customers and community navigate and survive the pandemic. The best part is that we really shined during this time. Through phase 1 and phase 2, we ended up making 131,000 loans totaling $12 billion. In Essex County specifically, we made 2,179 PPP loans for $213 million. Our average loan size was $98,000, and the smallest loan that we processed during the pandemic so far has been $755. The other thing is we did support our customers with payment deferrals during the hardest times. So you can see that we didn't pick out like the large companies or anything of that nature. If you do the math on the numbers that I just gave you, it's a very diverse group, and about 80% of the folks that applied for the first round of PPP loans applied for the second round as well. So it was a pretty consistent need that was met, that was out there. And I can tell you anecdotally, I received an awful lot of letters and comments and very nice gestures from customers and non-customers that we helped through the process, the PPP process, and they were very thankful for it. Thanks. Over to you, Cheryl.
Okay, if we want to go to slide 8. We never forget that we are a brick and mortar organization, and that is one of our delivery channels of our stores. So we do have a number of stores in Essex County that we're very proud of. And as I had said, we brought with us today, we have Lizette and we have Miguel. Miguel's going to talk about on slide 9, if I can get that up myself. TD introduced a new checking account this year, and we're very proud of it. And Miguel is here to speak about that.
Thank you, Cheryl. And yeah, so in August, as TD Bank, we do listen to our community. So what is our community asking? Low-cost bank account with easy to use digital tools. So we announced our essential banking. What exactly is essential banking? So it's no minimum balance requirements and low monthly fee of $4.95. It's a checkless account where you can use bill pay and your debit card at ease without any problems. It's easy to manage your account by knowing what kind of balance you have all the time, and no overdraft fees, which was huge for our customers, where they don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to overdraw my account? Am I going to get hit with all these different fees? There's no fees. It's $4.95 straight across, no surprises, no anything else. It's an easy account to manage and 24/7 access. For our younger fans from the ages of 13, 17, that fee gets waived. So when they come in, they're learning to use their accounts. They don't have to worry about the $4.95. Once they're over the age of 17, they come in, we sit down with them and kind of go over some of the different products to see if they should stay in that account or if there's an account better suited for them. With this account, they have access to all of our ATMs. That's over 1,100 TD locations, around the clock, live customer service over the phone. Debit cards on the spot. You lose debit card, stops working, gets damaged. Walk into any TD branch, Maine to Florida, and we'll hand you a debit card. And 24-hour online and mobile access. So paying your bills, issues with your account, you can pick up the phone, make a quick phone call, and it gets all straightened out for you right there. This is banking for the community that we deal with on a daily basis.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Miguel. After, what we're going to do now is we are going to have Patrick speak to us about product enhancements that we made this year for our mortgage programs. And then after Patrick, we will highlight Lizette and all her community involvement. So Patrick? You there, Patrick? Let me see if he's still here.
He's there.
Patrick,
He's muted.
Yep, you're muted.
Sorry, I was on mute. My apologies. All right. So, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can, Patrick.
All right. Thank you. So, TD Bank, we take pride in extending ourselves for lending to the communities for home buyer purchasing their first homes. We have a huge variety of products to help our clients get into their first homes. But some of the products that I like to highlight is, well, one product is our new mortgage product called the Refi Now. The Refi Now is designed to help people in during this pandemic. Tons of folks lost their property, their work. This Refi Now product allows our borrowers more affordable, flexible options for them to be able to refinance their home. Some really great features about this Refi Now product is the minimum FICO score is 620. The loan max amount is about $548 to $49,000. The one of the major highlights about this Refi Now product is the debt to income ratio. You can we go as high as 65% on the debt to income ratio with this Refi Now product, which is much higher than most traditional refinance loan products that we use. So that's a really good new product that we have to kind of help our clients be able to refinance their current mortgage situation. Another product that we have, which is my favorite, that I love to use to help my clients get into their first home, is the Right Step Mortgage product. A product like the Right Step Mortgage product is a affordable mortgage program with low down payment designed to help address challenges like having enough money for down payment and closing costs. This is a product that we always had, and we had last year, and been using and been successful with helping our borrowers get into their first home. But the enhancements of this product is something that is very exciting, to me. What's great about this? Well, some of the features that's already wonderful about this mortgage product is, putting a low down payment of at least of as low as 3%, with no MI paid by the borrowers. So that was one feature that really excited me about the Right Step, but we had enhancements to that as well. The minimum down payment now, well, out of pocket for our borrowers is $500. The DTI max has been increased on this product. It used to be 43%. It now has been increased to 45%. The LTV was 97%. Now it's about 105 LTV with a DAP program. So we now accept down payment assistance program for this product. The borrowers now only have to come out of pocket with about $500 of their own money if they have the approved DAP program that we can merge with this mortgage product. You know, so it's a very competitive product. It allows our borrowers to have more purchasing power because they're not paying the MI, the mortgage insurance, which you would have to pay with a product similar, you know, with an FHA product. You know, so this Right Step product actually, in my opinion, it's a better product, especially for single family homes, because you put a lower down payment. We accept a down payment program, a down payment assistance program to merge with this product if it's approved by the bank, of course. And our borrower only have to come out of their pocket with $500 of their own funds. They can actually receive gift funds from their family members for down payment and closing as well. You know, so the enhancement to this product is very exciting because it allows us to extend lending to more first-time borrowers. Yeah, that's pretty much mostly what I have to say about this product. It's just very exciting that we have something that will allow the customer to use an option other than, or have an option other than FHA to get into their first home. You know, so these enhancements are, you know, something that we are ready to extend to as many folks as we possibly can.
That's excellent, Patrick. You're right. They were great enhancements, and we're really happy to offer them. And, you know, as I stated before, we are a brick and mortar. Brick and mortar is very important for our delivery channels and our store managers. We couldn't do it without our store managers. They're certainly our pillars in the community. And you heard from Miguel, and now I'm going to turn it over and tell her to bring it home for Lizette Morales, who is a pillar in the community and has done wonderful things this year. So Lizette?
I'm here. Thank you for having us, ladies and gentlemen of the Essex County Freeholders. So yes, I'm bringing it in with some exciting news after all this that we've heard today with our wonderful TD Bank partners. I do have to say that early on this year, we were still doing our seminars, first-time homebuyer seminars, financial literacy seminars, our small business seminars via Zoom. We participated with organizations like the Newark Puerto Rican Day Parade, the City of Newark Hispanic Commission, the African Commission, the Caribbean Commission, multiple churches, the majority of them with Temple Rock Church. And we've participated for the financial literacy with Aspida of New Jersey and also the schools in Patterson. We have some schools in Barringer as well. And now we're entering into a whole nother phase. And what I can tell you is that we're excited. I'm excited to be able to now join everyone face to face, because I have to tell you, doing the seminars, you know, via Zoom, it's hard for someone like me who's very active and animated and love to have that face-to-face interaction. So now we've actually moved into being able to have some of these seminars in the facilities, like the City of Newark is allowing us to use City Hall to do our first 8-week Language of Capital series with small businesses in Essex County and also in the City of Newark. Right now, we're working on teaching them about how to develop business plans, assessing their company's financial needs, running profitable companies, analyzing their competition, how to conduct market analysis, having access to capital, and then the importance of financial statements and their business. We've also been partnering up with some local businesses who are willing to speak as to how they're running their businesses and maybe give a mentorship to some of the startup businesses that are participating in the seminars. So the good results that are coming out of this now is that through the city of Newark and Invest Newark, they have decided that they're going to be putting aside a budget to be able to give 3 businesses that are participating in this program grants up to, I believe it's $1,000 for those who participate from the beginning to the end. So, more news on that, and feedback from the small businesses is just absolutely positive. We're also working on trying to create through the commissions policies that may help the constituents be able to tap into some funds for closing costs, or maybe some funds for down payment for those who may be having or struggling to be able to put some of the funds down themselves. So we got a lot of things cooking for 2022. And I'm just excited to be with a bank that allows us to be able to do this. So thank you.
Oh, so thank you, TD Bank, for that wonderful presentation. Your time slot is a little bit over, but I still want to have my colleagues have an opportunity to ask you all questions. So commissioners, do you have any questions for TD Bank?
No questions.
Madam Chair, I don't have any questions, but I am going to have to leave. I have another engagement, so I apologize. But good luck, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. McInerney, any questions?
No, I just, I think one of the more outstanding, features of what we've seen in the literature that was received in responses to our request for information was the proprietary home mortgage products for low, moderate income people. I'm looking at the qualifications here, where it's up to 95% loan to value, 45% debt to income, and no income limits if subject property located in a tract of, in a census tract where the tract income is 80% of the HUD area median income. So these are very liberal terms or qualifications, I should say, for the home mortgage, to acquire a home mortgage in these low and moderate income individuals. So I think is a high point. But I do have a question. These are proprietary, so the bank actually holds on to these mortgages. Is that correct?
Yeah, yes, sir. We hold on to our mortgages that are, our in-house products, and sometimes we have to give the Fannie products back.
Right.
But but the files are still managed and serviced by TD Bank. Our borrowers still, do all of their deposits and their payments to their mortgage and the service. They need customer service or any sort of printouts. It's all done with our bank. We don't send them off to another mortgage company.
Yeah, no, these are on balance sheet mortgages.
These are on balance sheet mortgages. You hold these. So it gives you a little more flexibility as well in dealing with these if there's any problems, correct? The fact that you're still holding.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And there was only one residential foreclosure in the county of Essex for TD Bank on home mortgages?
Yeah, that's accurate, and that's an estate situation.
Okay. Well, I do want to commend you on the proprietary home mortgages for low and moderate income. These are very liberal terms in any bank, to be honest with you. So thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. McInerney. Those were some wonderful comments that I certainly echo and agree with. I have a couple of very quick questions. Martin, in your presentation, did I hear you correct that you guys gave out a small business loan for $755?
Yes, that's accurate. Yep.
What
what
were
they
the
needed.
terms? How did that come to be? I've never heard such a thing before. Please just talk a little bit
Well,
more about that.
Yeah, it was part of the triple P process. So it goes interest, no payments for the first year, and then it goes interest only for a period of time. It's a 10-year payout if they want it. But the reality is, I believe that particular one, as almost all of our first rounds, because I was a part of the first round, were forgiven. So ultimately, they didn't have to pay it back anyway.
Wow. Another question for Patrick. The Right Step program that you talked about, it does or doesn't offer down payment and closing cost assistance?
No, so we're able to use a down payment or closing cost assistance in conjunction with our Right Step program if it's approved by our pricing team. So we don't have the down payment through TD, no.
So they'll bring that from someplace else. What is the DPAP program you referenced? You said approved DPAP. What program is that?
My apologies. The DAP program, the down payment assistance program. That's
the okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is we can, with the Right Step program, well, with a couple of our programs, the Right Step, the Home Ready, and the Refi Now, the LTV, we can go up to about 105% with the with the DAP program, with the down payment assistance program. With the down payment assistance program, our first time home buyers only have to come out of pocket with $500 of their own money.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so in conjunction with other programs. All right.
Yeah. So if it's an approved down payment assistance program, if it's a qualified program with the bank, we can use those funds with the Right Step program, which is a really great enhancement because our LTV the loan to value for the Right Step program before these enhancements was 97%. So our borrowers only had to come out of their pocket with 3% for the down payment. But now with these enhancements, along with the down payment assistance program, we can go up to 105% as long as they come out of their pocket with the $500. Another great enhancement about this product was the FICO score. The borrowers used to have a 660 FICO score in order to qualify for this product, which was kind of putting our customers in the position of going with the FHA product.
Right.
But now with the enhancement, the enhancement is now we have the requirement of a 620 credit score, which now is, it's like you can put the Right Step program side by side with an FHA program for our single family home purchasers.
Gotcha.
And yes, and it gives our customer more purchasing power using the Right Step program opposed to the FHA because there's no mortgage insurance with the Right Step.
So Cheryl, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. A couple of quick things that I would like for you to provide to us. Please give us via email to our staff a listing of everyone who participated today with their phone numbers and email, contact. The next thing is, can you please give us also an overview, written literature flyers, really, for that New Jersey Community Capital Program that you talked about that was in partnership with the Black Chamber of Commerce. And Lizette, you talked about some other good community programs that some of us would love to trickle down to our constituents, if you can provide that information to us as well. Cheryl, the other question that you'll probably have to follow up is related to your grant funding area. I saw that you guys made $630,000 in grant funds to the Essex County community. What percentage of that, what is your total giving for the bank as a whole? So what does that 630,000 represent? So thank you guys all so much for coming out this evening. We appreciate your presentation. Please get back to us with the follow-up things that we asked for, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Cooper.
Hang on one second, please. We're queuing you up to our public feed. Now our presentation is with Valley National Bank. Please introduce yourself and just give us a quick 10-minute overview of the CRA response that you provided to us.
All right, thank you. So why don't we do the introductions first, and then I'll proceed with the 10 minutes. So I am Jerry Flack with Valley Bank. I am in the Corporate Social Responsibility and CRA department, focused on community development, and I am the CRA Regional Officer for New Jersey for Valley Bank.
Hi, I'm Kelly Velasquez Karsich, and I am the Director of Government Services for Valley Bank.
Thank you so much for having us again, and it's really good to see you, and hoping that we'll be back in person at some point soon. So what I'd like to do this evening is just sort of highlight two important areas, homeownership and small business, and what we're doing for the community in that respect. Before then, speaking as the CRA officer, I'm very proud and looking to maintain our outstanding rating from the OCC. So that's good news. And additionally, I want to also point out that we don't really have foreclosures. We sell them quickly. So that's the other point about that might differ perhaps from some of the other banks that you work with. But I'd love to talk to you a little bit just then about our focus on homeownership and small businesses, as I said, and some of our successes that we highlighted in this year's survey. And so to that end, we actually participate in on the homeownership side. We really prioritize first-time home buyers, including in Essex County. And you may have noticed in the report that we worked with the down payment assistance program with New Jersey Community Capital, and had great results in 2020 with over 60 first-time home buyer mortgage loans receiving over $1 million in subsidies, and working with that particular program. I believe it's an Essex County program, in fact. And that was the neighborhood lift program specifically. Also, you may have noticed in the report, we collaborate with the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York, a number of their programs, including the Homeownership Dream program. And we had a great story in there. If you didn't get a chance to read it, it's real. I'm not going to read the whole thing for you tonight. I know we don't have much time, but it really speaks to the work that we do first to maintain that program, but then also to get our families in homes, and your families too in homes. That's really important for us. So, and it's such a nice story, I included it in there. And you may have also noticed in there that we have home loan consultants in the community, and you may have even worked with our community mortgage officer in the past as well. So we're really serious about access to home ownership, including, in fact, we had great success this past year with our virtual Journey to Homeownership program that we were ready to offer virtually, and had participants continuously during the COVID, and continuing with that program. And that's on our website, and we promote it as well. On the small business side, we did an amazing job in the Paycheck Protection Program. We had, I would say, over 50% of the company really worked on making that happen. And as the report shows, I think we did like over 12,000 paycheck protection programs. Paycheck protection loans, the PPP loans. We actually also in 2020 built out our community lending team, which is an awesome team that really is focused and representative of small minority and women-owned businesses, including multiple languages that they speak. And again, I hope that you have seen them in us in the community. And then the other final point, just regarding some work that we're also doing in Essex County for small businesses, is we actually completed in 2020 the Language of Capital program at our Ferry Plaza in Ironbound with Invest Newark. And I guess it worked out well because they've asked us back. And in fact, we'll be offering that program 4 times. Let's start with the first starting January 19th, I believe it is, in 2022. And, look forward to, perhaps some of you might be interested in attending that with relevant, or at least helping us promote it if you're interested, and with relevant information for small businesses, accessing insurance, accessing capital, what it means to be an entrepreneur. So I'll leave it at that because I'd love to entertain any questions you may have of either myself or Kelly.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Commissioners, are there any questions? Mr. McInerney, any questions?
Yeah, just you mentioned that you do not hold any mortgages at the
Any
bank.
foreclosures,
Okay,
right? So our foreclosure policy, we have no residential foreclosures in 2020, no REO properties in Essex County in 2020. And our policy is basically to sell them within 90 days if we end up having any. So that's why we rarely have them, because we're always selling them if they
you
come up.
sell your foreclosures.
Yeah, let me read this exact. We immediately market foreclosed properties to be sold within a target date of 90 days.
Okay, well, then you do have foreclosures.
When they
You sell-
happen,
Yeah,
we
when they
sell
have,
them.
well, that's the question. Question
So-
was, do you have any foreclosures? And you're
I'm sorry,
saying
I
no.
thought it was in reference to 2020, so excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes, so in 2020, did you have any foreclosures that you sold?
Apparently not, because it says here that we had none. Yeah. So it's not something that we, and we have a number of programs, because I know that's a concern for you, understandably. I myself worked in Patterson for many years and saw the issues with abandoned properties firsthand. And, we have a number of workout programs that we listed in there as well, that we try to work with our clients and, to minimize, we want to keep people in the homes. We have that same commitment that you do.
Yeah, if I could say, the key too is you have a responsibility to your shareholders. So it's not a question of whether or not you have foreclosures. So the foreclosures are bound to happen. It's a question of what programs do you have once a foreclosure happens to assist those people in staying in the home. So
Right.
again, it's not an issue of foreclosures, not foreclosures. Foreclosures are the responsibility of the bank to get their money back. So it's just what the board is looking at is programs, again, that help assist people in the foreclosures for the possibility that they may not have to take place.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
so I appreciate that. Thank you for clarifying that. And so that, I think, refers to the question that we answered regarding any programs. And so we do participate in investor workout programs, Fannie Mae, Freddie, and payment deferrals. Actually, clearly, we all did that during COVID,
Right.
I believe, is my understanding. I know we did. Flex modifications, forbearances. We have flexible hardship programs, payment deferrals, I think I mentioned, modifications, long-term modifications, short-term forbearances, reducing interest, obviously extending out the terms. And we also, I think, as I mentioned, participate in a number of housing assistance programs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So, Jerry, couple quick things. Can you please provide us with all the contact information for you and Kelly? Name, email address, telephone number. Also, I know you won't have this answer tonight, but please respond back to us. What is the total amount of grants that your organization makes annually? I know your report reflected a $300,000 number to Essex County.
Essex County. Actually, so yeah, I don't have that in front of me, so I could come back to you with that.
Yes.
I think it should be in the document I sent you, which is in our corporate social responsibility report, but no worries, because I don't have that in front of me either, since we're off-site, but I will absolutely get you the total number of grants.
And then how are the grants that you have available communicated out to community-based organizations so that they can apply?
Well, so first of all, I assume you're referring to CRA focus, because that's the grants that I'm referencing here are CRA, and that's the only sort of funds, if you want to call it, that I help to facilitate for Valley Bank. And so a number of different ways. And in fact, I myself have done, so we work with a lot of nonprofits as well as nonprofit networks. And so one actually has their conference today, and tomorrow, the Center for Nonprofits. And I mentioned that as an example, because one way is I actually go out and talk about grant programs. When I talk about it, I don't just talk about Valley's grant program, I talk about CRA, because even when I worked for a Habitat, I wasn't aware that organizations that primarily serve low and moderate income people and address issues in our communities such as affordable housing, can access these funds. And so what I often actually present on these topics on CRA and how CRA is a great way to access funds for nonprofits that are serving low and moderate income people in places. So I did speak at the Center for Nonprofits in person. And then I also recently, I think during 2020, during the COVID, I actually spoke with there's a new, I think it was a Grant Makers Association, and I could get you the actual name, and their New Jersey coalition. And I spoke with them about the exact same topic. I was actually on a panel with other sort of foundations and that kind of thing, even though I'm not, but I was on that panel. So I pretty much focus on community development and CRA. So I do a lot of outreach, and then, there's word of mouth, and, they find us as well. But thank you for asking.
Perfect. So Jerry, please provide us back with the additional information that we just requested.
Okay, the program that I did?
Yes, for the grant making, so
will.
that the community-based organizations know how to get in contact with you.
Uh-huh.
And how much as an organization do you all set aside to make grants? Not just in Essex County, but organization-wide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so our total.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, your total.
I can come back to you with that. And shall I send that to Ms. Marble?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right. So thank you guys so much for your presentation this evening. You have a good evening.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
It
your
was very
attention.
nice to see you.
Cheers. Bye now. Good luck with the rest of the sessions.
Thank you.
Take care.
Lionel, Industrial.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Willie Blaylock. I'm Market President Senior Vice President and Market President for Industrial Bank, the Northern Division, which encompasses New York and New Jersey. Industrial Bank is the third largest African-American bank in the country, with headquartered in Washington, D.C., recently acquired City National Bank, which was headquartered here in Newark, New Jersey. So as a result of the acquisition, Industrial Bank acquired the assets of City National Bank.
Right.
So that just familiarizes everyone with who we are. We haven't, although the name may be a little new, we've been in this market for quite some time. One thing I can say, I did submit just a brief overview of the products and services and information pertaining to our practices. We are an African-American owned and operated financial institution, one of only about 18 or 19, depending on how you want to count it, in the country, still here in the country. We're a minority deposit financial institution. In addition to, we are a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution as well. So from that realm, a lot of the questions that was actually asked is a part of our day-to-day business model, primarily having that type of status. We must, by regulations, have at least half of our lending practices in low to moderate income areas or areas that are underserved or underbanked. So Industrial Bank, I'm proud to say, over 67% was the last check of our lending practices are all in underserved and underdeveloped areas. That's what we focus and concentrate on. The great thing about becoming a part of Industrial Bank, I was also a part of City National Bank. For some of you who have been here for the last few years, the entire staff did stay on in terms of the branch locations in themselves. So the branch employees continued to stay on. Here in Essex County, we are in the process of building a new branch or rebuilding a new bank located on Freeling-Hyson Avenue, which was the old PNC Bank. So that is my concentration right now. We're slated and scheduled to open the latter part of January 2022, if all goes well. We're currently in the process of construction now. With that being said, we do have an office here right downtown Newark in the Haynes building. That's our only location right now in Newark. The location in Freeling-Hyson will allow us or afford us the opportunity to have a full service bank with a drive-through, ATMs, the whole gamut of banking services. Unfortunately, we did not have a drive-through, which created some challenges during the pandemic, and we had to have set appointments and did a lot of online banking to accommodate our customers. However, we did get through the pandemic itself.
Well, thank you. Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. No, I do not have any questions for this bank. I don't.
All right,
Just
thank
small
you.
amount.
I want to commend you. I love that you guys offered for your REO property an option to the tenant to purchase the property before you sold it open to someone else. So I want to commend you for doing that. Did you guys offer any grants to any community-based organizations?
Because of the size of the bank we don't have a grant. We don't have grants. However, we do give contributions and donations in support of organizations, particularly those that are in, Essex County. And of course, we have Harlem, but that's separate. We'll talk about Essex County. Those that are like-minded organizations in Essex County. Our primary focus is any type of organization that will bring health, or that focuses on health or well-being or improving the quality of life in these areas that we actually serve. So we are selective in who we like to partner with. Anything that has to do with any type of education, say, for example, we have great relationships with the colleges and universities that are here in Essex County. I continue to work and volunteer quite a bit with them, in addition to some of the schools that are in Essex County as well. We encourage volunteerism to our employees, allow them to have the opportunity to take the days off to volunteer and to put in hours, as well as just giving donations and contributions.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Blaylock, for this wonderful presentation. Please keep up the good work that you're doing, and we look forward to seeing that new location open here in Essex County.
Appreciate it. I'll send out an invitation to everyone. So if you're available, we're more than willing to join. Thank you again for the work that you all do. I know there've been some changes in that kind of stuff. I can only imagine how difficult it's been to run a county, because it's been very difficult to run a bank.
But we're still all doing the best that we can. So I'm just happy that we still have a mechanism to still connect. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a good
Thank
evening.
you as well. Thank you again. Be well all. Take care. Have a good holiday.
Thank you. Bye-bye. going to ask you, especially in the interest of time, I'm so sorry, this has taken a lot longer. You know, when we schedule it, expecting people to do their presentations in chunks, and it just takes a little bit longer when we start talking and listening to the wonderful presentations. So please give us just a quick 10-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute overview of the CRA report. Just highlight the finer things that you want us to know so that we can have time to ask you questions. So who will get started from PNC?
Yep, thank you. I'll quickly kick this off and I'll turn it over to some of my colleagues. Nice to see everyone again. And in the interest of time, we're not going to go into all the information as we presented in the report. But would like to really, if you have specific questions for us, happy to answer them. But in regards to the CRA, we're very proud of the fact that, ever since inception, PNC's had an outstanding rating ever since, I believe 1978. And, we're very involved, in the community, in New Jersey, in Essex County. We, are involved in a lot of different organizations. It's presented in our reports that we've submitted. I also have my colleague, Greg, who's in our community development bank. Greg, if you have any specific things to add about, our involvement in community development banking, and I also have my colleague, Peggy, who works in the regional president's office in the office of client community. We can speak further about any specific details that you would like.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, An. So good evening, everybody. I am proud to represent PNC as part of the community development banking team in Northern New Jersey. Specifically speaking with regards to Essex County, we're extremely proud to be part of the Essex County community. Currently in the year 2021, the bank has been very active working with a number of, actually quite a few nonprofit organizations within the county. To date, in 2021, we have executed 6 loans totaling a little over $3.7 million. And as I said, we're extremely proud of that. I don't know how much more detail you want me to go into with regards to some of the other things we've been doing centered around home mortgage lending, small business lending, and grants. But as many of you know, the PNC Foundation has also been very active in the community and very engaged with many stakeholders. And to that end, there's 28 organizations in Essex County that we have assisted with a little over $390,000 in grants. So I'll stop there on. If there's any other information that the folks on the call would like to hear, I'd be more than happy to provide more.
Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
No, I don't, Madam President.
Thank you. What is the status, please, of the one REO property that you have in Essex County?
Melissa, are you able to chime in here?
Has it been sold? Have you just started the foreclosure?
I do not. Christian's not on the phone. I can go ahead and find out about the status of that REO, but I thought Christian was going to be on here, but I'll find out.
Yes, so can you please follow up and give us the status of that? How do community-based organizations find out and participate in the grants that you make?
So I can take that one. So we are extremely engaged with, so in Northern New Jersey, we have a community development specialist. She is not on the call tonight with us, but I work very closely with her. Her name is Michelle Abel. She is very plugged in to a lot of the stakeholders in Essex County around their needs, specifically with regards to nonprofit organizations and their needs. So between her and myself, and quite frankly, the relationships that we have throughout the county with some of these NPOs, that is the main way that folks are finding out about how it is that you go about the process of a grant application.
Okay.
Hi, it's Peggy from Client Community Relations. I just want to let you know, we also have an involvement with our volunteerism and many of the preschools in Essex County, and they qualify for Grow Break grants, and we get the word of mouth out there as well. I deal with many of the preschools that are low to moderate income.
So Peggy, can you just give us something in writing about the program that you just described so that we can kind of pass that along to some of our constituents and community-based organizations? I'm going to ask if you can provide us Greg and Michelle's your contact information so that we can move that information along to our community-based organizations so that you can get to know some of the new organizations or what be new for you that you might not know that are equally doing great things in the county of Essex. I'm excited to see that you guys offer closing cost assistance grants to your to people who are interested in first-time home buyer mortgages. Do you have any specialized mortgage programs for borrowers?
You're talking about for hardship assistance?
Hardship assistance or regular purchases?
I can speak to the hardship assistance. We do offer hardship assistance for borrowers going through difficult situations. We do offer repayment plans, forbearance plans, payment deferrals, as well as modifications to permanently modify those loans when they're in a situation of, not being able to afford the property. So we do have a number of those that have been completed in this past year.
Oh, great. Then that's how you guys are able to have that very low foreclosure rate. So I'm excited to hear that from the bank. So please provide us, the other question that I'd like you to answer is, tell us as a whole what the grant making number is that you make as an organization versus the amount of grants that's been awarded to Essex County. You can follow up with that information back to us, please.
Yes, I absolutely will. That's a great point. I can get those numbers over to An and to Deborah. Yeah.
All right.
I'll be happy to.
Thank you. We don't have any more questions for you. We would just encourage you to keep up the good work. Peggy, I saw those eyebrows go up. Would you like me to ask you some more questions?
Oh no, I've got Newark is my favorite area. Got some great schools. You got great kids. Love you guys.
Happy to hear that. Keep up the good work. Because you've done such good work is why we don't have a whole lot of questions. You guys presented a great CRA report with great stats that you put up, and we just would like to see you continue that. I would just love to see a little bit more investment around the grant making area and also getting more community-based organizations plugged in, because we often see that it's the same organizations that are getting the grants over and over again. There's a wealth of community-based and faith-based organizations here. They just don't always know about who you are and what it is that you do.
That's a great point.
Thank you again so much. You have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you. Okay.
The CRA report, the highlights that you want us to hear, please.
Sure thing. So our latest CRA report was put out in 2018. We did have one in 2020. We haven't received an update from the regulators yet. But the highlights from there on our lending test, we were a high satisfactory, investment, outstanding. Our service test was also a high satisfactory. Our lending activity in Essex County in the small business bucket, our number of loans, total loans was 233. Percentage of loans to small businesses with revenues less than $1 million was 99%. and the percentage of those loans under 100,000 was 85%. Our community development loans, number and dollar in Essex County, was 5 loans at $14.1 million. And the number and dollar amount as defined in CRA for affordable housing, economic development, revitalization, stabilization, affordable loans was 4 at 11.4 million. Community development and social services, 2.7 million. The one thing we're proud of is our grants. The number and dollar amount of grants in Essex County, we don't have the number, but we have the dollars. CRA qualified was 15,500. COVID specific grants was $193,500. And then the grants for CRA purposes, affordable housing, $12,500. Economic development, $500. Community service, $2,500. Proprietary home mortgage products for LMI borrowers, we definitely do. We have an in-house program for our LMI borrowers. It's based on census tract and household incomes. Our branch managers, our mortgage lending officers, they get really involved. They do seminars all the time at the branches. They're very popular. And there's also paid mortgage insurance assistance, forgivable down payments. And we give a nice credit for the application fee. We do have a first-time home buyer program in conjunction with New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Agency. It also provides down payment assistance and grants for first home buyers. And basically it's a second lien on the property, which is a forgivable loan. Do you make efforts to serve homeowners and small business and minority and LMI neighborhoods? We definitely do. And basically same as the last category, we have the first time home buyer seminars. We work closely with realtors. We have realtor listing campaigns. And the bank really pushes it hard along with just regular community service. For small businesses, we regularly engage in first-time homebuyer sessions in LMI areas. In addition, our branch network staff, and historically through community development, the bank regularly engages in minority and women-owned business outreach, as evidenced by sponsorships, education sessions, workshops, and CDFI partnerships.
What are your small business lending numbers?
They were up on.
I only see percentages.
Yeah, the amount of loans looks like it was missing. I can follow up with that information if that's okay.
Would you please? Yes.
Absolutely.
Also, what is the difference between CRA qualified COVID specific grants and then down at the bottom you have CRA regulation grants?
So the COVID was basically anything that I know that we gave a big grant. I was to one of the hospitals. I just can't remember off the top of my head, but I could find that out for you as well. That's no problem.
That would be helpful because if it wasn't for this COVID specific grant, your grant making would be deplorable.
Yeah, I'll get the information for you.
Yeah, the CRA qualified is just a mere $15,000. And then the other CRA regulation is $13,000, $15,000. Yeah, that's $15,000. That's why is your grant making so low for CRA qualified stuff?
I'll get the detail on that for you, no problem.
Yes, please.
I don't have it, I apologize.
You guys don't have any foreclosures?
We do not.
Okay, perfect, great. That's good to hear. No foreclosures.
And then banking services, we have 16 locations, all ADA compliant. We do have a minority staffing policy. The bank also just rolled out a DE&I committee. Every week we basically have meetings. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We learn about a lot of different cultures. They're doing something on Hanukkah this week. And every month it's something different. So it's a pretty cool thing that we started. And I think that's about it as far as this.
So as a follow-up, please provide the numbers on your small business lending, since it's missing from this report that we have.
Yeah, I think it had the total number, but I think the only one missing was percentage of loans in LMI.
No, there, at least the report that I'm looking, I'll go back and look in the computer. I only see percentages. I see under the community development side, the actual aggregate numbers, but on the small business lending, it's just percentages here.
Okay, I have 233 loans, so I'll get that over to you, updated.
Yeah, but what does that 233 represent? Like, again, under community development, it tells me what you gave out and affordable housing. Yep. And so services, we would like to see a little bit more.
Sure.
Can you please provide us with the contact information for the person who does the community grant making activities for the bank? Give us, the name and the email address, please, so that we can share that with our community-based organizations.
Yeah, I think I can definitely get you a name. The best way to go about it, right on our website under community, there's a link right to the foundation.
Okay.
Anyone
all right.
is more than welcome to put a grant in.
When you follow up, send us that link directly, please, so that we have it, so that we don't have to go look for it.
Absolutely.
Would be helpful.
And I can also give the contact.
As an organization wide, please tell us what the total grant making dollar amount was that investors gave out, not just in Essex County.
For 2020?
Yes.
Okay, I'll do 20.
Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. Investors was just sold, correct?
We are we are being
acquired.
Citizens Bank, yep.
Right. So I guess one of the issues would be, since shortly you'll be under that domain, what is there much difference between the policies and the lending practices that are applicable to our line of questioning, much different with Citizens Bank as opposed to investors? Or has that even been reviewed at this point?
Yeah, and it's something that we couldn't even talk about yet, because we just had shareholder approval last week. So
yeah,
I don't think they can really get to any details until regulatory, which is anticipated second quarter of next year. The one thing I can definitely share, which is awesome, is the Investors Foundation will survive.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.
And again, I agree. If you can get those actual numbers rather than the percentage of what the chairwoman, indicated.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. We appreciate you coming out this evening and giving us a wonderful presentation.
And get this over to Deb Marvel?
Yes, please.
Sure, no problem.
Have a good evening.
To contact to Sandy Broughton, who's our Community Development Officer.
Yes, so, please give that to Deborah for us as well.
Sure, no problem. Thank you so much. Have happy holidays.
That's Seth will be taking care of that. Seth is the executive director of our corporate social responsibility division.
Okay.
So Seth is prepared to speak to the survey.
We have another person that just joined us.
Oh, perfect. Frank
Yes.
said it's all on you, that this is all your presentation right now. So if you can start by just giving us a 5-minute, 10 at the most, overview of the important points that you want to highlight from your CRA report.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, it's great to be with you all this evening. My name is Seth Goodall. I'm the Executive Director of Corporate Social Responsibility for Santander Bank. As you folks know, Santander Bank is a bank headquartered in Boston, but with a footprint throughout the entire Northeast and a strong presence in New Jersey, as well as in Florida. Very pleased to be here. I'm just wanting to highlight certain components of our report and then, of course, answer any questions you may have. Santander Bank 2017 announced our 5-year, $11 billion commitment to our communities throughout the Northeast, including $1.7 billion for New Jersey. I'm pleased to report as of June 30th, we already exceeded our $11 billion plan with $12.3 billion, which includes $2.6 billion to New Jersey. Our CRA rating is outstanding, and I wanted to now just go over a few of the points in the specific survey. As you see in the survey, we completed 140 mortgages for $41 million in Essex County. From a small business standpoint, 544 loans for $54 million. And importantly, 74% of those were for $100,000 or less, truly helping the small business. From a community development lending standpoint, you'll see that we provided nearly $34 million in lending. From a grants perspective, last year was $440,000 in Essex County, and also wanted to make sure I just highlighted that we will reach at the end of this year our $9.6 million commitment in New Jersey to all of our nonprofit partners. Another component of the report that was just asked was also around our affordable mortgage products. We're pleased to have numerous affordable mortgage products in the marketplace, including a specific product for New Jersey that we worked with partners on to develop. And just some highlights, our affordable mortgage products are ones that can be layered with other local program products as well, including focused on low and moderate income, lower down payments. We also have discounted pricing and even credit scoring that goes as low as 620. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions, but in the report is, in the bottom of our submission is the overall Inclusive Communities Plan. And then of course, the survey goes into greater detail about some of our policies and procedures that you asked about. I will pause there to see if there's any questions.
Thank you. Mr. McInerney.
Yes, according to a list that I have as of December 1st, there was only $35,000 worth of deposits from the county in your bank. Does that fluctuate? Does that go up? Does it?
Hi, Mr. McInerney, Frank Cosentino. Sorry again for the camera difficulties here.
That's all right. Yeah.
I'm very pleased to serve as the relationship manager for the County of Essex, and I'm also a very proud homeowner here in West Orange. I moved here to the county about 15 years ago. Yes, at this point, the balances are $35,000. They do not fluctuate. We are very desirous of working with the county in any way that we can. So we definitely plan to do everything we can to increase the relationship, to find additional ways to work together in the coming year. anything that you can do to facilitate perhaps an introduction to the CFO, I'd be happy to reach out and see what we can do in that area.
What were the balances at the end of this time last year? Do you know offhand?
It's been a consistent $35,000. There's that's a legacy account that's been with us for quite a while. I believe it was actually opened by with a bank that Santander
you acquired.
Yeah, that we acquired years ago. So
the real issue here is, whether, obviously that 35,000 isn't, doing much for your profit and loss statement. So, I mean, it's clear that in order to make this more meaningful, that you would look to increase those amounts.
Well, of course. I head up the government banking effort in New York and New Jersey, and as I said, yes, I would very much as a homeowner here in the county, and I'm pretty sure I know most of my most of the other government bankers from the other banks. We're all friendly competitors, and I think I'm the only government banker that's in the county. So yes, I would very much love to see the relationship increase. We do offer a full array of banking products and services, cash managements. Our rates are competitive. Our pricing is very competitive. We do have a dedicated. I think one of the things that really sets us apart is that in the public sector, we have a dedicated government banking client services group. So in addition to an RM, a local RM, such as myself, there's a government banking client services group that is dedicated to the public sector. So they're very much specialists and not generalists. So from a service perspective, we think that we offer something that's truly unique and special in the marketplace.
I don't have the CRA evaluation in front of me. I just have the outline from the bank. But it does say that Santander's overall rating is outstanding. So was it outstanding in all three categories?
So
Seth will take that.
Yes, I can respond to that. We were outstanding in lending investment with a high satisfactory in the service category.
All right.
And that's specific to our MSA report in New York and Newark, as reported by the OCC in our last report.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions or.
Seth, I'm sorry, I was on mute. I was having a whole conversation with you.
No problem.
I've noticed your report reflect 30 REO properties. How do you guys normally dispose of those properties?
So we would dispose of them through just a very traditional channel of meeting all regulatory hurdles, but I'm actually not in the perfect person to respond to that specific question. So I can get that answer to you and give it to you in writing and follow up.
That would be fantastic if you can do that, please. Also, I would like to know the overall grant making number that the organization did in 2020, so I can compare it to your grant investment for Essex County. You mentioned earlier that there was $9.6 million that you guys, I guess, earmarked as the investment that you wanted to make with nonprofit community partners. Who is the person that nonprofit partners could work with? How do they get in contact with them for potential projects that they have in their pipeline to see if there could be a match?
No, absolutely. So we at santanderbank.com, we have a charitable giving site. But most importantly, what we would recommend is I would connect you directly with Tamika Favors. Tamika is our director of philanthropy. And we also have community partnership managers that are active in the community in New Jersey, and that is led by Toby Baba. And he's a resident in New Jersey and oversees the state of New Jersey from a community partnership standpoint. So we'd be pleased to work with any nonprofit partners that may be of interest.
Please provide us also with their contact information as a follow-up as well. I'm trying to see, do I have any other questions? Do you offer down payment and closing cost assistance for first-time home buyers?
We do. And we have programs that often average right around 5,000. And then we all for down pay, closing cost assistance. And then we're also lender paid mortgage assistance that we pay. We also allow that to be layered with other local programs, whether it be, albeit through a nonprofit or state and local. And then we constantly look to make sure that those are effective in the marketplace and adjust as needed based on market forces.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on this evening and your wonderful presentation, for providing us with this information. We look forward to the follow-up things that we requested. So you have a good night and a good holiday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
We're asking for you to please give us a 5 to 10 minute overview of your CRA report, just, to find highlights that you want to point out to us.
Great, thank you. Well, first of all, my name's Thomas Graziano. I'm with New York Community Bank. I'm director of the Government Services Group, and we have on the phone with us is Michael Fields, our CRA officer, and also the branch manager, Maria Vasquez, of our Ferry Street branch in Newark. And the three of us will be going through the program.
Thank you.
Michael,
Welcome.
would you like to? Thank you. Michael, would you like to start?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Fields. Again, as Tom touched on, I'm the CRA officer for New York Community Bank. Just quick highlights. NYCB was examined in September of last year by the FDIC. The bank received an overall rating of satisfactory. We received high satisfactory in each of the 3 performance tests given by the FDIC for lending, investments, and services. In the assessment area that includes Essex County, NYCB received their satisfactory within that assessment area, or I'm sorry, high satisfactory within that assessment area. The bank is a multifamily commercial real estate lender. This is it's been our focus, and it's the one thing that the bank does well. It operates, it has an extensive portfolio of CRE multifamily loans in each of the states in which we do business, in Ohio, in Florida, Arizona, as well as in our core footprint, which is in New York and New Jersey. And this has been a very significant aspect of what the bank does. What that means is that from the point of view of the bank's community development lending, a significant number of loans that the bank originates meets, especially with the the community, the affordable, the multifamily lending, some of the commercial real estate lending addresses a CRA purpose. During the period that we're looking at, we originated $340 million of loans just in Essex County alone. Of that number, 16 of the 20 loans that we originated, or close to $300 million, were in loans that supported affordable housing or community services or even economic development within the county. Tom is going to just touch briefly on two aspects of this, which is our single family residential and also small business lending.
Thank you, Michael. For small family residential, we don't offer a product directly, but we do offer a referral to a third party. That referral is where we put our any mortgage inquiries. We refer over to a Freedom Mortgage third party, and they handle everything for the customer. So we don't have that solution here. As for small business lending, we did participate in the 3 PPP programs during the year. We also performed a number of small business loans. 51 small business loans were created in Essex County, and 45% of those loans were created in LMI areas. Interesting fact, 88% of the loans that NYCB created were in amounts of less than 100,000. So we're really focusing on the small business entrepreneur, who is really the basis of our customer base here. So I think we're committed to serving the needs of our local businesses, and we are trying to keep it to the local business, and that's really our focus, especially in this type of lending.
Thank you, Tom. And the bank also makes investments. Yeah, the bank also makes investments throughout its CRA assessment area. These include grants and donations that are made to various organizations within our footprint, of which Essex is not excluded. Because we have no 1-to-4 family lending, Section 3 doesn't apply, or Section 3 on foreclosure activity doesn't apply, because there are no mortgages that were originated. I'll turn it over to Maria. She's as the branch manager there. She's going to just take a quick overview of the banking services that the bank provides to residents within Essex County.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening. I'm Maria Vasquez. I'm the branch manager of the Ferry Street branch. It's one of the 4 locations in Newark area. In New Jersey, we have 41 branches. 12 are located in the Essex County, and 4, like I mentioned, is out of Newark areas. And what we do in the branch level is we participate in Community Reinvestment Act programs by going into low to moderate income places where we perform financial literacy presentation. Just recently, still during the pandemic, we went to Better Tomorrows in Harrison Park, where we went over financial literacy to senior citizens. We have about 20 senior citizens who participated in the event. We discussed identity fraud and ways in safeguarding their accounts. It was well received. During the presentation, we have questions and answers. We also brought flyers to give them information to reference to protect their identity, like internet scam, resources as well, like Federal Trade Commission, IRS, check systems, and credit reporting agencies, where they can reach out in case there is some kind of breach in their identity. So that's one also of the services that we provide. And we also have different products and services for veterans. We do have the military checking where they can, as low as $100 in the account, they are able to get the benefits of full service banking. They can also earn interest, a higher interest on the CDs that we offer. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Maria, for that overview. In addition to the community services that we provide using, again, the resources or people resources, Maria highlighted some of the products and services that we offer. The bank is, of course, a glorified savings bank, and so our core focus is account openings, and so we really do have products and services that are targeted to low and moderate income individuals and underbanked individuals as well. What we've done even just recently is we've expanded our account opening procedures, which allow individuals, essentially anyone, to open an account at the bank, as well as created additional products to allow individuals to use their savings and lend against their savings, building credit and repairing credit. So there are a number of things that we are also going to be implementing, but just suffice it to say that we continue to be a bank that is accessible to our community, not just in terms of our locations, but also in terms of ADA compliance. And our whole model is predicated on local hiring. And so to the extent that if you go to any one of our branches, they reflect the communities in which we're a part, both language in terms of culture and other effects. So that I believe is a good highlight of an overview of the bank's role. And I trust that this is something that the bank will continue to make such a high level of investments, lending, and services in the communities that we serve here in Essex County. Is there any questions, or are there any questions for Tom, Maria, and me?
I believe, Madam Chair, you're on mute.
There I go again, having a whole conversation with myself. Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. No.
All right, thank you. Michael and team, thank you guys so much for a nice presentation. I will have to preface this by saying that I'm going to commend you and highlight that you did a fantastic job in the community development loan area. You have exceeded the amount of investments that you made compared to, it's just astounding. And I'm excited to see the level of investment that you guys made in Essex County over the past 2 to 3 years. That is magnificent. But now I've got to beat you up. So the grant making area is so low. Why is your grant making area only $2,500? Please explain.
Yes, I would definitely would do so, and it's part of it has to do with my because I tend to be the one to make a lot of the grants and investments. It's not that there are not locations within Essex. It's the time period that we have. There's some we've actually done more before, after. So a lot of it has to do with the bracketed time frame that we're looking at. But the bank continues to, and we are looking, in fact, to expand the amount of the number and amount of grants and donations that we make within all of our assessment areas, including in Essex County.
Michael, I hate to tell you, that's still not a good response. This time period that you guys highlighted here says from 2019 to December 31st of 2020. So that's a year and a half-ish almost, and $2,500 in investment. from the grant perspective, the grant section, it should be a lot better than that. So I would like to see a huge improvement next year when Garden State Community Bank come before the board next year. I know that you
Yes,
guys can do better.
I
You did a
guarantee you
tremendous
that.
job on the
I
community
guarantee.
development side, the
Hmm?
small business lending side. We need to make that grant making side complement the other two areas just as significantly. All right?
Yes.
Thank you guys so very, oh,
Correct,
no,
correct.
can't let you go yet.
Okay.
Please provide us with the contact information for the person within the bank that does the grant making. I know, Michael, you said you do the community development, so please make sure that Deborah
Right.
Marvel has your
That would be me.
right, your number, your email address, so that we can pass that information on to other community-based organizations. The other question is, I would like to know, what was the grant making investment from the bank and the other service areas that you provide services in? Did you guys make grants in other areas? If so, how much was it? So you can please
Yeah,
get back
so,
to us with that
we have-
information? I'm
Yes,
sorry?
I will certainly do so.
Yes. So that is it for
I
us.
will do so for the time period that's there.
Yes, yes, for the time
Thank you
period
so
that's in
much.
here. We would like to see, what was it like in other areas that you have a footprint in? So
Sure.
thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
out
you.
this evening and sharing your information. You have a good evening and a good holiday.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
do the same.
Thank
You
you.
too as well.
Take care. Okay,
Thank you
bye-bye.
very much. Bye-bye.
Just hang on one second. Lionel, I think we also have somebody from one of the other banks based on the name. There you go.
Everyone, please, we're asking for each bank to give us a 5 to 10 minute overview of the points that you want us to highlight, that you want to highlight from your CRA report. 5 to 10 minute presentation followed by some questions from the commissioners. So Wells Fargo.
Madam Chair, can
All
I
right.
stop you for a minute? Is everybody here from Wells Fargo? Is anybody from any other banks? I see somebody popping in and out who I think might be with one of the other banks based on the sheet I have. Mr. Anastasia, are you with Carney Bank?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Lionel, can we move him?
Who's that?
You're coming on later, yeah.
Who's
we're
that?
Back in the waiting room.
Anastasia. He's with Kearney Bank.
Correct.
All right, if you could just disconnect yourself, because you're coming up as a telephone number, not your name. So if you could just disconnect and dial back on.
No, he's still in. He's
Right. Good evening. Good evening, Essex County Board of Freeholders. Thank you very much for having us this evening. What I would like to start is take a minute to introduce ourselves. So my name is Tomas Porturas. I am the Senior Community Relations for Wells Fargo, Puneta.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vanetta Hawkins. I am the Vice President of our Diverse Segments Market and Growth Development Team in our Home Lending Division.
Roland.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Roland Washington. I am the Vice President of Mortgage Outreach within our Home Lending Division, and I cover the whole East Coast of the United States.
And Keziah?
Keziah McGinnis with the Government Banking Team for the Northeast, covering New Jersey.
Thank you. And now we just want to go into the highlights. In addition to the information that we have provided to you in the survey, I think it is important to share with you what we have done in 2020. We know that 2020 was a very hard year. So, and we as a company made a decision to, number one, to help nonprofit organizations with grants. And no questions asked, just to support organizations, give them the support they need, the financial support, so they can stay open to provide the help the families need. The monies that they were getting was strictly for operations. So we understood it and we supported them. In addition to that, we made grants to initiatives like, for instance, the NJIT group of students that very early during the pandemic, they decided to produce mask face shields, and we gave them a grant so they can produce those shields. They help a lot of first responders. In addition to that, as you know, the PPP loans, we are part of it, and we produce, because of the process of these loans, we had we collecting fees over $400 million that we decided to donate 100% of these fees to help the small business community. And we did that. And still, we are doing that. In addition to that, we participated to support the 40 acres in a mule fund, which was set up by the city of Newark. And still we support them, and also the United Way of Greater Newark. That fund is to support the small business and also nonprofit organizations to stay open. And I know this is one of your concerns, Commissioner Cooper, about grants. And there is a little update about the grants that we have made in 2020. We made 48 grants in Essex County for the amount of $997,505, almost $1 million. 17 of them are qualified as community investments. And I would like to also, I will make sure that my name, Deborah, gets my name, my contact information for any nonprofit organization that would like to get in touch with us to do so. I will be happy to have a conversation with them. What I would say, an additional thing that I would like to mention is that since 2020, we as a company made a decision to intentionally look for minority-led nonprofit organizations to support them build capacity, and also help them with the board so they can grow and provide more help to our communities, especially low-income communities. And with that, Vanessa, anything else you would like to add? You're mute.
I'm like the chairperson talking, but talking on mute. Following in your footsteps. I'm following your fabulous footsteps. So hi, everyone. I'm Vanessa. I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about what we've been doing from a high level perspective as it relates to mortgage. So we launched our proprietary program called our Dream Plan Home mortgage. And that mortgage is really to service our low to moderate income consumers that are that are at 80% or below of the area median income. It is also a 3% down conventional product, which is amazing. So we're super excited and have been doing really well with that product out within the entire state, across our country, and within Essex County. In the Essex County market, we also have what we call two community home mortgage consultants. And the community home mortgage consultants are solely focused on servicing the mortgage needs of specific communities within our MSA, which includes Essex County, and really helping consumers achieve the dream of homeownership. Another thing some people talked about around just our down payment assistance programs. So Wells Fargo proudly are part of, we're actually the only large bank that is part of the New Jersey HMFA down payment assistance and first-time home buyer mortgage program. So we actually started supporting that program and have been doing really well, servicing several consumers throughout the entire state, offering that $10,000 grant. And then in addition to offering and partnering with the state, we also have approved the Essex County or the city of Newark Live Newark program, the $10,000 grant that you guys have out in the Newark market. So we do have that program approved as well to be able to provide consumers that fit the description and can actually qualify for the program, the $10,000 grant. And then the last two things that I'll just talk about is just around our commitment to driving homeownership in minority communities. So Wells Fargo had two mortgage commitments that we put out there in 2017 and 2018. One is our African-American commitment, and the other one is our Hispanic commitment. And both of those commitments have three components. The Hispanic commitment, they're 10-year commitments, and the Hispanic commitment came out, and we are looking to do $125 billion in mortgage originations. Also to donate $10 million to nonprofits that provide homebuyer education and foreclosure prevention. And then the third component is to increase our African-American home mortgage consultants within the company. And the other commitment, our Hispanic commitment, is for $125 billion in mortgage originations and $10 million in the supporting of the grants for the homebuyer education and the foreclosure prevention, and also increasing our Hispanic home mortgage consultants across the country. And I think I may have misspoke. So I just want to make sure I'm clear as this is recorded. So the African-American commitment is $60 billion in originations, and our Hispanic commitment is $125 billion in originations. That's all I have, and I'll pass it over to Rulon.
Hey, thanks, Vanessa. So I'll cover some foreclosure activity, try to be really brief. So as of November 17th, 2021, in Essex County, New Jersey, Wells Fargo has 2 foreclosures that have been filed in the past year. In addition to that, Wells Fargo has 1 REO property currently owned by the bank. That's as of November 15th. It's in Essex County. And then also Wells Fargo has 2 REO properties currently on municipal abandoned Properties Rehabilitation Act list, and that's as of November 18th, and they're both in the city of Newark. So in addition to what we do to allow borrowers to remain in their homes, in regards to making sure we keep our customers sustained in homeownership, Wells Fargo has payment assistance programs for customers that are impacted by COVID, along with traditional programs for hardships that may not be COVID related. So in both scenarios, we have short-term and long-term programs that we use in alignment with the customer's hardship. We've been providing mortgage assistance for customers since the start of the pandemic, so April 2020. And as of September of this year, homeowners can still request help, right? There's still initial payment assistance that's available, which is a temporary pause on low payments, and that's for up to another 12 months. So assistance is ongoing and will continue up into 2022. So a lot of assistance that's available. And while a homeowner is getting help on their mortgage, we constantly check in with the borrower to make sure that they understand their options. We're kind of there with them step by step to make sure they understand their options, because education is a big part of this. We found that during the pandemic, education around assistance is key. So we created a COVID landing page specifically created to answer mortgage questions for homeowners impacted by the pandemic. That site also provides detailed information about post-suspension payment programs. So what happens after someone gets that assistance. So, we include deferral programs with that move payments to the end of the loan, and also COVID-related modification programs which aim to decrease a borrower's principal and interest payment by 20 to 25%. And it doesn't require any documentation, so that's also a good thing. In addition to our loss mitigation programs, we're also working with New Jersey Housing and Mortgage Finance Authority in the near future to deploy the state's allocation of $325 million in that COVID-related mortgage assistance created through the American Rescue Plan's Homeowner Assistance Fund. So we expect that that's going to roll out, but we have the operational support to help out our customers that are going to be dialing into that program as well too. And on top of all of that work of keeping people in their homes, we also provided COVID-related grant funding to the Urban League of Essex County, and that grant funded on housing stability, so mainly foreclosure and eviction prevention. And we understand that the local support is just as critical as the programs that we provide. So we want to make sure that we add that as well too. Tomas, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you.
You're on mute, Tomas.
Tomas, you being like me, being on mute talking.
Sorry. And with that, I think we are ready for any questions you might have. Thank you.
Mr. McInerney, do you have any questions for Wells Fargo?
Yes, did you cover the CRA performance evaluation in terms of what your grading was?
Yes, well, we didn't mention right now, but it's in the survey, as the survey mentions, for the period 2012 to 2018, which is still the current that we have, is outstanding. And the next period, which is 2019 to 2022, will be in 2023. And based on the strong commitment that we have and continued work that we do in our communities, we expect another outstanding rating.
So all three categories were outstanding?
To be specific about, we have, and I'll tell you right now, it is outstanding overall, lending outstanding, investment outstanding, services high satisfactory.
We haven't run into anybody yet that's got all three outstanding, so.
Well, right, exactly. But as you remember, that time was very challenging, I think, for all the banks.
Yes.
But we expect this time to have the outstanding in the three categories.
Now, your bank has really not a lot of deposits with the county. Is there some reason? I don't know if as of December 1st, there was less than 400,000. Does that number represent what typically the deposits are during the course of the year, or is there a higher amount, lower?
Well, about talking about deposits or the banking side, quite frankly, I personally don't get involved, and because I'm the community relations consultant that deals with grants, and we don't mix the grants with the business. So, and because of it, I don't get involved. I don't talk about that. But I would like to, I would be happy to get, to put in contact with you to have a one-on-one conversation about the relationship, the banking relationship that we have. And please understand, it's for me, it's a very complicated, as you know, it can be a conflict of interest because the grants that I provide to organizations in Essex County, for instance, is purely based on the merits of the programs, the impact. So I don't get involved with the business side because it's not something that I use in my decisions. But I will be happy to take any question and to putting you in contact with the person to talk about the banking relationship that we have.
Okay, but that's a great answer. To be very honest with you, that is a great answer. I mean, it is divided. It's a business aspect, and really, you're here more or less to go over some of the community-based issues that are important to the Board of Freeholders, Board of Commissioners. So thank you for that answer.
Thank you.
Tomas, I have to tell you, I am happy to see your performance this year. It's better than last year. The community lending side, the community investment from the grant side, the foreclosure side, everything is a big improvement compared to what your report looked like last year. So I want to encourage you to keep it up. Please share are you the contact person, Tomas, for us to connect community organizations to who are interested in funding opportunities, whether it's grant or the lending community-based products that you have? Are you the person?
Yes, for grants. Right.
Okay. All right. So make sure that we have your information is up to date with Ms. Marble. I do want you to please tell us what was the total grant making dollar that Wells did overall, so I can compare it to the investment number that you did for Essex County. And again, your investment in grants this year was a lot better compared to last year. So thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So I think that's it. Ms. McInerney, Mr. Parlavecchio don't have any questions. We're gonna let you good people go, have you tell you good night and have a good holiday.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
The lending test was high satisfactory, and there were no CRA complaints. I didn't get a chance to get consumer lending data, but on the small business lending information, number of loans originated is 3,557 in the county. As far as small business, 100% of those loans are under $1 million, and almost 13% are under $100,000. We obviously do the loans larger than $1 million in the county, but for small business.
You don't have the numerical number of actual total number, aggregate number?
3,557 loans.
Let me say, Madam President, I am going to just make a statement here. The information that I received here is really nothing more than writing on our banking review program committee survey.
That's correct.
Yeah, we don't have the information from Connect One that we got from all the other banks. It looks like you spent about as much time on this as was expected when we got it so late. So I have to say that every other bank seemed to comply with our request except Connect One with regard to taking some time out, and providing the information that we request. And
We
that's
did send you
my
the, we did send you the public file, which contains what is available to share. This is not something that is typical within the state of New Jersey. We're not asked for this information from any other county. I don't have a full presentation. I have information that you've asked for. I don't know what other format you wanted it in.
I'm just
Mr.
saying.
Mr. Cardone, you appeared before us last year.
That's correct.
Connect One Bank, correct?
Right.
So
yes.
this isn't your first time at the rodeo. You know what we expect and what we would like to see. As Mr. McInerney expressed, all the other banks took the time out to dissect the information from the CRA report and boil down to just provide us the answers to the specific questions that we were looking for.
Right.
So I'm going to stop you because
Sure. Okay.
this report, it could have been a lot better than what it is.
Right.
And if this report reflects the services of the bank, I'm very concerned by that.
The service provided to the county is a money market account. It's very, very basic. It's just a money market account.
Mr. Cardone, it could be a money market account, a checking or savings account. According to the report that I'm looking at, this very basic money market account that you so cavalierly are referring to contains, Mr. McInerney, please correct me if I'm wrong,
$45 million.
$45 million, 10% of the county's money.
Right. And the account is, when I say basic, I mean, it's not a stretch for the bank to establish a money market. It's not a unique or involved service. It's the bank is an FDIC insured bank. The bank's active in Essex County.
That's not the issue here. The issue, sir, is not you have 45 million of the county's money. There are issues that the board is interested in
Right.
terms of grants, in terms of lending to small businesses, in terms
Right.
of mortgages, proprietary mortgages that your bank might have that
Right.
provide home mortgages for people in low and moderate income. All those things were spelled out with the other banks, and
Right. And I jotted the information down here.
It's just not here. That's all I'm saying to you.
It's right in there. It's noted right on your form.
No,
I wrote it right on the form.
Mr. Cardone, we're not going to
you
go
wrote it on the-
engage
Okay,
in a
that's
back
fine.
and forth.
That's fine. Understood.
So I want to note also for the record that I've chaired this committee for 3 years and I've never received a report like this from any of the other banks. I think it was disrespectful, the handwritten comments that was given to the board. Also, if there was ever a time for this work and the responses that we're looking for to be provided to us is this year when we have a high number of foreclosures that we're looking at. Our constituents are looking to us to make sure that we are making investments with banks who understand the sensitivity of some of the issues that they're going through and that are willing to create products and services to work with them to help them keep that American dream that they work so hard for. And for
Right.
Connect One not to take the time out to take the information out from the CRA report and just communicate that to us, I am very taken back by it. So, Mr. Cardone, thank you so much for appearing.
Have a
before
lovely
us
evening. Thank
today.
you all. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
and give us an overview of Kearney Bank and highlights from your CRA report that you'd like to share with us.
You got to come off of mute. You're on mute.
We can't hear you. Miss. Oh, wait, he may be having some technical issues.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jack Anastasi. I'm a Senior Vice President for Kearney Bank. I'm the government and business banking leader. I've been in banking for about 27 years, the last 3 years with Kearney Bank. And my focus is basically on public funds sector accounts. Anything
I think we've lost the gentleman.
He's still on, however, he's having a bandwidth issue.
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
All right. I don't. Sorry for that. I usually don't do Zoom. I'm on usually Teams and WebEx.
Madam Chair, would you like him to start his presentation again?
Yes, please.
Okay. Is Jack? Let me see.
He's on, but he's frozen.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry for that. Let me yeah, let me just call him. Again, first of all, thank you. I know we were a little bit late on coming in, but thank you for letting us participate in your committee. So I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Joseph Lupino. I am the Vice President of Government Banking for Kearney Bank. I am the former CFO for the County of Bergen. I retired back in October and started at Kearney Bank as VP of Government Banking. And again, I have 28 years of local government experience. I teach, I'm also a professor at Rutgers. I teach in the Certified Municipal Finance Officer program on there. And one of my, I guess, objectives of after I'm retiring to go into the private sector, I wanted to pick a field where it's government related, where I can help my local CFOs and local governments be more efficient in terms of their banking needs. So
Can you, while we're waiting, give us an overview on Kearney Bank and their community development lending activities any programs, first-time home buyer programs, your small business lending, things like that.
Okay. I wish Jack was on. Like I said, I'm not able to.
Let me
Waiting.
ask if I can, maybe I can ask some,
Yeah.
see if I can guide this through.
Yes.
I'm also aware that Mr. Lupino is new at the banking, and hopefully his colleague will be able to get back on. But just to move the agenda forward, you're the last bank, so we're everybody's anxious to get this done.
Yes.
As far as the ratings go, in your institution rating, I'm looking at the lending test was high satisfactory, the investment test was high
Yes.
satisfactory, and the service test was outstanding. So those are the three categories that typically we're going to look at to see whether or not the bank is in compliance with the CRA. The other side is that you did put together a very, and on short notice, really a very comprehensive, report that goes in detail about a lot of different things. What's really important here, Mr. Lupino, though, is that we do get some assessment of, and if we do it now or we do it some other point, we've got to get some assessment of those type of loan programs that the board is interested in. That is, are there proprietary home mortgages that typically a bank would do in order to keep those mortgages in-house. Those are typically for low or moderate income and gives the bank a lot more flexibility as to when people are unable to pay. We're interested in the foreclosures that the bank has done and the amount of business, as well as the amount of business that the bank does within Essex County, not only on home mortgages, but also on small businesses. So I'm looking at your small business loans here. These figures are based on geographic distributions. And I can't really interpret them myself. Right? That's why we need somebody on. You do have within here, you have small business loans that are less than $1 million. So we do have the information. That is what we were looking for. We just need a little bit more with a little more girth to the programs.
Okay. I know we do participate in, again, as being the former CFO of Bergen County. In Bergen County, we have the American Dream Affordable Housing Program, which is a HUD program. I think Essex has that program, American Dream Affordable Housing Program. And Kearney Bank is a participant in that program at Bergen. So that's something that that we would definitely be interested in participating if you have an affordable housing program on that.
Mr. Lupino, this is what we can do. Since your colleague is still having technical difficulties, I would entertain having you guys come back at our board meeting, and you could do like a matters of discussion. Or Mr. Parlavecchio, could I hold my committee open and have them come to the our commission meeting and have them make their presentation?
So I think, I didn't know if you asked 2 questions or 1.5. Did you want?
I probably just asked 3 or 4 questions.
So we could continue or continue the committee meeting just to have them back. And maybe there was one other bank. Somebody else had a conflict earlier, I think, BOA.
Oh, yes, that's right. It was 2. It was someone else. So we
why don't we do that?
That might be the best way rather than at a full board meeting.
Okay. All right.
Madam Chair, we can schedule, the continuous of the committee meeting for those 2 banks.
Let's do that.
Based on everyone's availability.
Let's do that.
That works.
Okay.
Would
that be?
Thank you, Mr. Lupino, for coming on this evening. I appreciate it.
Would that be in person, or that would also be via a virtual?
It will be virtual through you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right. So you want us to focus on your actual the small business lending
Well,
and
Mr.
affordable
Lupino,
housing.
we have all that. You've given us that. So
Okay,
it's just that you don't have anybody to make the presentation on it. So that somebody has to come and make the presentation. That's all.
okay,
They have already addressed that information. Okay?
okay, very good. All right, again, I'm sorry for the technical.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. It's taken us a little bit longer to get to you than what we thought. You were holding on
Okay.
all this time. And now,
Yes.
unfortunately, Murphy's Law,
Yes,
the
I know.
technology just isn't working. So it's
Okay.
okay.
Okay, if I could just emphasize too, we are headquartered in Essex County, and we do provide jobs in Essex County. So I want to make that, we're right across the street from the Essex County Airport. So I wanted to just emphasize that.
All right, Mr. Lupino, thank you.
So, Mr. Parlavecchio, and for a procedural, I can't adjourn this meeting then, correct?
Yeah, you don't want to close, or you could just have a second part of it. We could close it for today to continue at a date to be determined, because it's not like a voting meeting. So
Okay.
we can close today and just have a part 2 on another date. Continue.
Yes. All right, so then we'll do that. So thank you, everyone, for hanging in there with us. This went longer, as usual, than we anticipated. We'll schedule an additional meeting to wrap up the 2 banks that didn't have a chance to present this evening. So stay tuned for new dates to see when you're available. So Ms. Ford, we can just sign off then?
Yeah, you could adjourn the meeting and then
Okay.
we'll close the meeting.
So then I would say meeting adjourned.
Yes, ma'am.
Night,
Thank
everyone.
you so much.
Good night,
Have a good
Thank you
evening.
so much. Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.